Welcome to TakeAnother5, your weekly podcast on a bit of this and a bit of that. Hosted by Donna Jodhan.
Hey there, it's Donna Jodhan, and welcome to my weekly podcast called TakeAnother5. I'm an author, blogger, editor, entrepreneur, and law student, and I live in Toronto, Canada. I'm happy to be here with you for another week, and I want to thank all of those who took the time to send in feedback to me at info@sterlingcreations.ca. You know, this podcast is all about you and what you like to hear and what you'd like me to talk about. It's not just about me. It really is about you. I usually produce 5 segments to our podcast every week, and it's all based on what you are looking to hear about, what you want to listen to, because it's so important for you to be able to relax, recharge, just sit on your couch and do nothing for just a few minutes and listen to some useful information. I'll let you know that for my next podcast, I'm going to make some changes based on feedback that you have sent in to me, so that in our third segment, where we have the mystery moment, the 5 minutes mystery moment, we're going to give you the same mystery, but at the end of the podcast, what we're going to do is to give you a summary of what has taken place. And in the following podcast, we'll tell you who did it. This feedback came in from several listeners, and I am more than happy to change things around so that it gives you a bit more time to decide who did it. All right then, let's go on here, and I'll tell you a little bit about the segments for this week's podcast. Kitchen Corner is the first segment, and it all has to do with providing you with recipes that you can use on the fly, recipes that are easy to follow, that you can use when you're in a crunch, when you're in a hurry and you just want something quick to cook. All right. The second segment, TakeAnother5 with Technology, all has to do with apps that you can use on your iDevice to help you with various challenges. The third segment is the 5 minutes mystery, where you can use it to relax, recharge, think, use your imagination, anything that you want to do. The fourth segment is called In the End Zone with the Entrepreneur, and it has to do with providing you with tips for an entrepreneur that you can use if you're thinking of being one, or you just want to tell your family and friends, show off to your family and friends that you know all about what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And why not? And for the fifth segment, it's all about scams and bullies. Staying ahead of scams and bullies. The scams segment of, the part A of this segment 5 has to do with identification of a scam that you should be aware of. And part B of segment 5 has to do with building awareness of bullying, a very important topic. Now again, for last week, I had asked you the question, what is your favorite color? And you had provided, or I had provided you with my favorite colors, yellow and purple. Well, we got a lot of feedback with people telling us what their favorite colors were. And I want to share some of these colors with you. Some people said theirs was blue because it reminded them of blue skies. Some said it was red because red was for power. Some said it was green because green was for peacefulness, such as green grass, green trees, and green leaves. Some even said it was pink because it reminded them of pink sunsets. And there were other colors identified as well, such as white, such as gray. But these were the main colors that people identified from last week's podcast. So there you have it. And now it's time to go on to Kitchen Corner. And hopefully we'll get cooking and give you some recipes that you can use for your various events, and whenever you're in a crunch and you're in a rush and you want something quick and fast, hopefully our Kitchen Corner will tell you something that you can use. So now stay tuned for the next segment.
Welcome to my kitchen corner.
Hi there, it's Donna Jodhan, and welcome to Kitchen Corner. Time for us to get cooking. And for this week, I've chosen some recipes for you, courtesy of my good friend, Mama Peach. Mama Peach is a very selfless person. She shares oodles and oodles of recipes with all of her friends, and they're recipes that can be used anytime, anywhere, to suit any occasion. For this week, I'm hoping that you would like this first one. It's from the category of stews and chowders. And it's Cajun beef stew. Well, let's get started. 1 tablespoon of Cajun or blackened seasoning mix, 1.5 pounds of cubed beef stew meat, 2 medium red potatoes cut into 1/2 inch pieces, 3 carrots cut into 1 inch pieces, 1 medium onion cut into 1/2 inch pieces. Let me say that again. 1 medium onion cut into 1.5 inch pieces. 1 stalk of celery sliced. 1 14-ounce can of beef broth. 3 tablespoons of water. 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Salt to taste, 1 cup of frozen peas thawed, 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme. Coat inside of crock pot with non-stick cooking spray. Sprinkle seasoning mix over meat in medium bowl. Toss to coat, then place potatoes, carrots, onion, and celery in the crock pot. Place beef on top of the vegetables. Add broth and then cover and cook on low for 7 to 8 hours or on high for 4 to 5 hours, or until beef and vegetables are tender. Remove beef and vegetables to the bowl with slotted spoon. Cover and keep warm. Stir water into cornstarch in small bowl until smooth. Whisk into juices. Cover and cook on high for 10 to 15 minutes or until thickened. Season with salt. Return beef and vegetables to crock pot. Stir in peas and thyme. Cover and cook on high for 15 minutes or until heated right through. This makes 4 servings. Now, if you're finding it difficult to follow this recipe along with the next one that I have for you for this week, don't hesitate to write to me at info@sterlingcreations.ca, and I will be more than happy to send you this recipe along with anyone else in electronic format. Okay, so write to me at info@sterlingcreations.ca. That's STERLINGCREATIONS.ca. Right then, let's hope that you can use this recipe when you are running out of time, and that you can use it to, cook up a storm in your kitchen. For my next recipe for you for this week, we're going to go into party appetizers. And it's all about Asian lettuce wraps. You can probably, make a hit for yourself with this type of appetizer. Let's go and see what we have for you. 2 teaspoons of canola oil. Okay, 2 teaspoons of canola oil. 1 1/2 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken breasts or pork shoulder chopped into 1/4 inch pieces. Let me say that again. 1 1/2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts or pork shoulder chopped into 1/4 inch pieces. 2 leeks trimmed, white and green parts chopped into 1/4 inch pieces. 1 cup of shiitake mushrooms, stems removed and caps chopped into 1/4 inch pieces. 1 stalk of celery chopped into 1/4 inch pieces. 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. 1 teaspoon of dark sesame oil. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. 2 tablespoons of water. 1 bag of 1 8-ounce bag of coleslaw or broccoli slaw mix. You have a choice there. 1/2 red bell pepper cut into very thin strips, and 1/2 pound large raw shrimp, peeled and deveined and cut into 1/4 inch pieces. 3 tablespoons salted dry roasted peanuts, and they must be coarsely chopped. Hoisin sauce to taste, and 10 to 15 crisp romaine lettuce leaves, white rib removed and patted dry. I know this recipe is kind of long, but trust me, I think you will enjoy this. All right, onward we go. We need also some fresh whole chives. Heat the canola oil in a large skillet over medium to high heat. Add chicken and brown on all sides. Do the same for the pork, if you choose pork. Okay. Transfer this to the crock pot. Add leeks, mushrooms, celery, oyster sauce, soy sauce, sesame oil, black pepper, and water to the crock pot. Toss slaw and bell pepper in medium bowl. Place in single layer on the top of the chicken. Cover and cook on low for 4 to 5 hours, or on high for 2 to 2.5 hours, or until the chicken is cooked through. Stir in shrimp during the last 20 minutes of your cooking. When shrimps are pink and opaque, transfer the mixture to the large bowl. Add chopped peanuts and mix well. To serve, spread about 1 teaspoon of hoisin sauce on the lettuce leaf. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of the meat mixture and tightly roll. Secure by tying the chives around the roll leaves. Alternately, you can set out bowls of hoisin and meat mixture for to roll for themselves. This makes 5 to 6 servings. Yes, this is a very long recipe for this week, but you can take advantage by writing to me at info@sterlingcreations.ca, info@sterlingcreations.ca, and I would be happy to send you an electronic copy of this recipe. You can use this recipe the next time you have a party or just have guests over for a fun evening. I guarantee you that they would love this recipe and you will make a hit for yourself. Stay tuned now for our next segment, which is coming up.
Time to take another 5 with technology.
Hey there, it's Donna Jodhan, and welcome to segment 2 of our weekly podcast called Take Another 5. Hope you're enjoying this podcast thus far for this week. And segment 2 is all about sharing apps that are very, very useful, apps that are really nifty, and apps that you can use on your iDevice. So, let's start off with this app, and it's called the VoiceStream app. Meet the VoiceStream app. Here is an app that I met in early 2014, and since then I have been just in total awe of this nifty little app. I'll hasten to add that the VoiceStream app can benefit many others in addition to those who are blind. Excuse me. So, what is the VoiceStream app really all about? In one sentence, the VoiceStream app enables you to read your books in comfort and ease. You can install it on any of your iDevices, and it is available at the Apple Store. The voices in this app are very clear, and you can change them to suit your preferences. You can go back and forth in your book. You can go from chapter to chapter. And this is really important because sometimes you just want to reread a chapter, you just want to go back, you want to skip a chapter, and the VoiceStream app is just what the doctor ordered. The VoiceStream app is not free, and when you purchase it, I am sure that you will agree that it is worth every penny of its price, plus a lot more. It takes a wee bit of training, but you'll quickly get used to it. So, you can read text files, Word files, books in MP3 formats, plus do so much more with the VoiceStream app. This app is available at the Apple Store through your iDevice. So, why not go out there and try it? You'll be amazed to see how this little app could make a huge difference in your life. And you can take so many books along with you when you travel, when you go anywhere. And the VoiceStream app will make your reading experience a lot better. Well, here's another app for you. It's the Blindfold Racer App, a time to have some fun. I met this little nifty app, or this nifty little app, in late 2014, when thanks to my friend Darlene, as she knows how much I enjoy apps that are game-oriented. I am still learning how to use this app, but so far, so good. The developers of this app have certainly done something very good. They've done it. I'm telling you, they've done it. They have opened the door to those who are blind, giving them a great opportunity to enjoy a racing car game. You can play this game on your iDevice, and the enjoyment is simply super. You can download it from the App Store, and installation is no brainer. Trust me when I tell you this. You can play against yourself, and hours of playing are there for you, and you won't want to put it down. I guarantee you that you'll have hours of enjoyment, and it'll be hard for you to rip yourself away from this nifty little app. The instructions are extremely easy to follow, and the voiceover is very clear. This game is for everyone and for all ages. This app, as I said, is available at the App Store through your iDevice. So, why not go out there and meet this little app, eh? But if you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to write to me at info@sterlingcreations.ca, and I'll be more than happy to provide you with any additional information that I have. In the meantime, you just go out there and enjoy these two apps that I have brought you for this week. Now, stay tuned for our next segment. Hey, it's me again, Donna Jodhan, or author Donna Jodhan, as I'd like to say. And it's time for the 5-minute mystery moment. I've been writing audio mysteries and recording them in my own voice since 2010. And they have been broadcast across the ACB radio or Internet Radio Network, and here in Toronto at Accessible Media Inc. I continue to write these audio mysteries, and I've also written a 12 Days of Christmas box set, which each year since 2010 have been broadcast by Accessible Media Inc. and by ACB Internet Radio. I enjoy doing this, and I think that you will enjoy them too. You know, audio mysteries are very important for those who want to relax. You want to recharge, you want to just let your imagination go. And you want to get involved in audio mysteries that are filled with problem solving, not violence and crime. Just clean out your mysteries that you could fully enjoy and be a part of, and sort of get involved in who done it, how do you solve it, who did the crime. So these mysteries are available at donnajodhan.com/store.html. That's www.donnajodhan.com/store.html. Now it's time for you to put on your thinking cap and let's get going. Right then. This mystery is called the chocolate chip cookie. And no, it's not about eating a chocolate chip cookie. It's a lot more than that. Judge Brent Devries had his dog to thank for having saved his life. He was lucky to remain alive. Someone totally unexpected had saved him from certain death. This is what the scene of the crime looked like. The judge's home office was in total disarray. His desk was in total chaos. His chair was on its side, and there seemed to have been a huge struggle, because the judge was found lying on the floor between his desk and the door. He had been badly beaten. He was bleeding profusely, and he had sustained blows to his head and facial area. There were a lot of bruises on the judge's knuckles. A baseball bat was found close by, and blood was splattered on the carpet, on the walls, and there was a trail leading past the office door, going out to the front door, and there was a large shoe print going in the same direction. There were also some large pools of blood in the office and just outside the office door. There were also some prints of a dog's paws, intermingled with some of the pools of blood. The judge was unconscious. What could the motives have been for such a horrible attack on Judge Brent Devries? Possibly a defendant did not like the judge's verdict in a recent court decision. And who could the suspects be? Well, it's been identified that it could have been Marcello Scantelli's hitman. And the cause of death, well, the judge was not dead. He had sustained lots of bruises, lots of injuries, a fractured skull, among other things, a broken right cheekbone, 3 broken ribs, and a broken right kneecap. My goodness, it's no wonder the judge is still alive. But the judge seemed to have been in great physical shape. He played hockey twice weekly, and this probably helped to save his life. And this is how he managed to put up such a struggle and inflict injuries of his own on his attacker. After his attack, Judge Brent Devries had been hospitalized for 2 weeks with serious injuries. For the first few days, they did not allow any visitors except for Jill, his wife. After this, friends and family came in to see him, and even Chocolate Chip, his good old dog, visited the judge because he had requested that she come to see him. Jill usually brought Chocolate Chip after supper and allowed her to wander in and out of the judge's room. The dog began to be well known by the doctors and nursing staff, and soon they had nicknamed her just Chocolate Chip instead of Chocolate Chip Cookie. On a pre-designated night, Cantelli's man had made his move. He had help from the same one that had rescued him. He had noted the sleeping habits of the judge and had made his plan. He would sneak into the judge's room just before dawn and slip a pillowcase over his head, thus suffocating him. All had gone as planned until Cantelli's man had borrowed his accomplice's orderly uniform and had slipped it on. As the clock struck 1, not midnight, but 1, the hitman had made his move. He walked noiselessly along the hall, but just as he had gone to slip through the half-open door, his luck changed. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you to figure out why his luck changed and what could have happened next. And I'll tell you all about it at the end of this podcast. But I'd like you to note that in future, starting next week, we're going to change things up a little bit based on feedback that we have received from many of you. And what we're going to do is give you a summary of the story at the end of the podcast. And in the following podcast, we'll tell you who did it. All right? So this will give you more time to think about it and really get into the groove of things. All right, then. So that's the end of segment 3, our 5-minute mystery moment. And now it's time for us to move to our next segment, segment 4, In the End Zone with the Entrepreneur. And I'll see you on the other side.
In the End Zone with the Entrepreneur.
Hi, and welcome to In the End Zone with the Entrepreneur, and I'm Donna Jodhan. This is segment 4 of my weekly podcast, TakeAnother5. I want to thank all of you who are writing in to me to give me feedback on this particular segment, because many of you out there are entrepreneurs, and I can tell you that a lot of people have a lot of ideas to share. And keep it coming, because I think it's really important that you give the feedback, because this is all about you, for you, and with you. So, without much more ado, let's start by telling you how to choose a good entrepreneurial venture. You have to first determine what your interest is. Is it a long-term interest, you think? A short-term interest? An interest that could be classified as a hobby? Or an interest which you believe could be one that could be developed into something meaningful and something that could bear income for you? Do you think that there is a present demand for this particular interest that you are thinking of, or this particular venture? Well, it's not as difficult as you may think. Just, give it some thought, and you'd be amazed to know how many ideas you could come up with. Now, we're talking about demand, and if this demand is strong in your opinion, how strong is it? That's what you need to determine. And if the demand is not strong at the present time, could there be a demand for this type of venture that you're thinking of in the near future? If this is so in your opinion? If so, could this demand be a strong one in the future? And if not, could there be a possibility to build such a type of demand? How strong could it really be? And like I said, I'm stressing this week for you because it all has to do with demand. Do you have some or most of the skills required to meet this venture idea that you have? And if not, how easy would it be to acquire said skills? Do you think that you have the financial resources to do this? If so, then all of it? How much of it? Most of it? Some of it? These are important questions for you to think of when you're thinking of your venture. And if you don't have most of the resources, you only have some of the resources, if this is so, how easy would it be for you to obtain what you need? Have you consulted with others? If so, then who? Family, friends, associates, people that you respect? You know, it could be your bank manager, it could be your doctor, your dentist, your pharmacist, anybody. So give this some thought and see what you think. And if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to write to me at info@sterlingcreations.ca and would be happy to answer your questions. That's info@sterlingcreations.ca. Now it's time for us to move on to segment 5. Stay tuned and I'll see you on the other side.
Help us beat the bullies and the scams.
Hi there, it's Donna Jodhan, and we're now at segment 5 of our podcast for this week. This is almost over and I'm just starting to have fun. Okay, staying ahead of bullies and scams. And for this week, would like to talk to you about a scam that is going around that you should be aware of. And we've titled this, You've Been Chosen. More often than not, you receive a phone call telling you that you have been chosen for a phone survey. Well, you should ignore this phone call, but sometimes curiosity kills the cat, and you listen in to see what's going on. But in your head, you're hearing in your head that you should simply hang up and go about your business. But your heart is telling you, maybe you should listen to this a bit more. You should choose the former. Just go about your business. Hang up and go about your business. More often than not, this is with an airline, okay? Or with a well-known travel company. And if you choose to indulge this call, in quick time, you'll be asked for your credit card details and banking details, along with some personal preferences. If you choose to divulge any of these details, then look out. They will be used against you to attack your account. Trust me. Don't give out your details on the phone. Don't give out your banking or your credit card details on the phone. Don't answer any phone surveys at all. Simply hang up and go about your business. All right then. Let's go now to building awareness about bullying. Some things are easy to get rid of or deal with, while other things need a tremendous effort in order for us to deal with and bring under control. However, before we are able to deal with anything and even bring it under control, we need to understand why we need to do so. This is definitely the case when it comes to bullying, and bullying is not just a problem for our kids, but it is also the same for most of us. And it is rampant among our adults as well. Kids learn from adults, and adults learn from those who came before them. This is a vicious circle which needs to be broken now. Now, before either you or one of your loved ones becomes a victim of bullying. Now, before it is too late for either of you or one of your loved ones. This is the message. We should be asking ourselves, why does bullying really exist? I believe that this problem occurs because of a lack of tolerance, a lack of understanding, and a lack of awareness. And that the belief that it is easier to deal with all of this through violence, crime, and harsh and hurtful words. We are afraid to accept someone when we feel that they are a bit different from us. But it is not like this, or should not be like this. Be it through race or culture or religion or disability. This is why we often do not accept someone else. This formula of violence and crime to combat bullying has failed miserably, and now we need to turn to a different solution. Crime and violence is not the answer. We got to try something else. More understanding, more tolerance, and a dedication and a commitment to try this formula. These are the words that you really need to think about for this week when it comes to building awareness against bullying. Now it's time for me to go to the wrap-up of Take Another 5 for this week. And I'm supposed to be telling you who did it for the 5-minute mystery moment for this week. So stay tuned, folks. And if you have any questions about any or either part of this segment for this week, please write to me at info@sterlingcreations.ca and we'll be happy to share with you. Stay tuned now for our final wrap-up.
Thank you for having taken another 5. We wish you a fantastic day.
Hi there, it's Donna Jodhan, and it's time for our wrap-up. Gee, just came by so quickly, caught me off guard, but you know what? Another week is in the books. I hope you have enjoyed this podcast, but I can't leave without telling you who attacked Judge Brent Devries. Okay? So, who identified the attacker and who caught him? It was Chocolate Chip, the judge's faithful dog, who identified the hitman and had raised the alarm. On that fateful night, Chocolate Chip had somehow did not want to leave the judge's room when it was time for her to go. It was very uncanny. She didn't want to leave that night. Jill had agreed to leave her, returning early the next morning to fetch her. Chocolate Chip was wandering around out in the hall as the hitman had approached and had immediately recognized him. At first, Chocolate Chip had waited to see what the hitman would do when he went to enter the judge's room. And when he did enter, she bounced. She began to growl and bark loudly and was heard throughout the hall. As staff came running, she tackled the hitman and managed to rip open his shirt. The hitman was wrestled to the ground and the police was called. The man did not put up a fight. He told everything. So, Chocolate Chip was the hero of the night. She tackled the man, or helped to tackle the man, and the rest is history. I'm Donna Jodhan, wishing you a terrific day, a super week, and I hope to see you again next week at our next podcast. In the meantime, you can follow me at Accessible World, AccessibleWorld, or at author_Jodhan, AUTHOR_JODHAN, or you can follow us on Facebook or like us on Facebook at author Donna Jodhan or at Donna Jodhan. Keep a song in your heart, folks, and may the winds be at your back, and see you next week, and thank you for listening in.